I don't fall into that camp. I believe tuition is a necessary part of financing. Our argument at WICHE is that you should always, when you think of state appropriations, think of tuition policy as related to that. And when you think of appropriations and tuition policy, you should always think of your financial aid policy as related to that. That the three of those are essentially a finance policy. None of them are separate, and that they are all essential to both the quality of the education that's provided and to the opportunity of students to pursue that education. So you need to make this affordable, but you've got to allow the institutions to generate the revenue that's necessary to support the enterprise. If, in fact, the state were as wealthy as it once were or thought it was, and you were able to provide the kinds of resources you once did on a per-student basis, then you wouldn't need tuition. It would be a wonderful world. But in the new normal in which we live today, that's not realistic. And so you have to find a good way to blend tuition revenue with appropriations, and then have a financial aid system that takes care of those people who don't need that.
But talk me through this for a moment.
Sure.
Let's supposing we have a tuition here at Long Beach College, and that it's $2,000 a year, and a particular student can't afford that, family can't afford it. Then what happens?
Well, what I'd argue is if you had tuition of $2,000, every family could afford that, because every middle-income family would get at least that amount in tuition tax credit. The tuition tax credit is more than $2,000, so they would get that full amount. Well, they'd get all but $40. I've got another paper I did that looked at a way in which you could finance the 300,000 students who.
So what's the tuition tax credit limit right now?
It's $2,500. It's 100% of the first $1,000 or $2,000, and geez, I'm forgetting exactly what it is, but it would cover that full amount except for about 40.
What's the family income limit?
180,000.
100, yeah.
180 for married couple, and 90,000 was lifted from 60,000 in 2009 with President Obama when he took the Hoover credit from 60 to 90 and 180. So it's 180,000 is the cap.
And it was just.
So that was your point. Is
my
that
point is
right
that
now the federal government.
Yeah, that student, that
subsidizing
middle-income student, is fully covered, or for all practical purposes, fully covered. And the poorest student, the most needy student, in terms of where they are today, would benefit from the Pell Grant program.
Now, does the Pell Grant program guarantee that would be paid to that poor
If
student?
they are eligible, they get up to $5,500 today, $5,550 today in Pell Grant. So that's more than enough to cover tuition and substantial share of their other
Did they
funds.
get that already, even if they don't pay tuition?
Yeah,
So, okay, so they now get that, and that could cover
that could cover their tuition.
transportation,
yeah.
but so they could be out of pocket.
Yeah.
$2,000 then.
Doing nothing, you could do these and change it. What I'm suggesting is that student.
Maybe I misspoke. I just, the student who gets a Pell Grant today.
Yeah.
Will that Pell Grant increase if tuition increases?
If they're a full-time student today, probably not, because they're getting the full amount. If they're a part-time student, yes, it will increase, because part-time students only get it to cover students who are half-time or less. They only get it to cover tuition and direct fees. So that for that student, yes, it'll be covered. But for the full-time student, they're probably getting it today, depending on how the budget is determined for them at the present time.
Okay, so there could be a gap for a full-time